Hello guys, how are we all? Welcome to episode 9 maybe of the Short Tooth channel. Apologies first of all for my absence for the past couple of weeks. I've been missing in action. I've been truly AWOL on YouTube. I've been a bit out of it. I've come back from like a music festival a few weeks ago. I'm just feeling a bit run down since then, a little bit all over the place, as you can tell, because I'm looking a little bit dishevelled. I would say, look at the hair. The hair's madder than last time. The facial hair's going a little bit mad. I'm turning into a recluse, perhaps, by the looks of things. No, I'm not. I'm going out. I'm still doing stuff. I'm all right. I'm okay, everyone. I'm recovering. I'm getting back into the swing of it. I know I've been out for a long while. I'm back into the swing of it. Don't worry. As I'll prove to you now, because I'm not going to blather away. Hello to everyone again, all my old friends. I'll do shout outs to you all, but I just can't be bothered at this stage. You know who you are. You know who you are. Anyway, I'm going to do my next DVD Blu-ray review roundup for you. This episode is the British connection, shall we call it that? Particularly the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost connection. Because over the last couple of weeks I've viewed pretty much all of their films from the last 6-7 years. In any case, perhaps that's the only main films that they've done. Their films, and that's what I'm going to do for you now. A lot of you will have seen these films. Out of all the films I'm about to talk about, the only one I had seen before was Shaun of the Dead, but I only watched it once, and I rewatched it just so that I could do the full roundup for this episode review. So here goes. So first one of this British connection. I've thrown a curveball at the end, by the way, for those keen eyes. Anyway, first one from the British connection is, as I said, Shaun of the Dead DVD pack. I bought it in the double pack that I got Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz in. Everyone has seen them. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen them. Nonetheless, I continue with the review. So, Shaun of the Dead was the first film from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It's the first film from that guy who also directs all of the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost films. I think his name is, so I'm going to have to keep turning the light on. What's his name? It's Edgar Wright. That's it, Edgar Wright. Directed by Edgar Wright. And of course we all know it's a spoof, a pastiche, not a parody and a homage to zombie films. I'm not going to go into the plot too deeply, and I'm not going to talk about the obvious stuff that everyone already knows about it. Shaun of the Dead, basically Simon Pegg's a bit of a slacker. He lives with his even more of a slacker mate, and they have to deal with a zombie invasion in London. Now, the main thing to say about it is they're clearly zombie fans. There's a lot of nudges and winks to Romero in there and other zombie films, and they are going to be massively appreciated if you're a fan of the genre. I think people who like Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as comedians will watch the film and they'll enjoy it based on the comedy level that it has, but they'll miss a lot of the in-jokes. Particularly one of them was the theme song from, this is going to bug me, I think the theme song from Dawn of the Dead, the quite little tinkly number that plays over the end credits, particularly quite a catchy song. It plays somewhere in Shaun of the Dead, and I can't think where now. It may be on a pinball machine, something like that. Little reference that I really liked, picked up on. If you know what it is, put it in the comments below. I forgot. Overall, really good film. Really quite enjoyed it, but it's just a little. It felt like they were finding their feet with it, and there is this thing. Those of you who saw my For Wednesday and Funeral review might see the link here, but there is this thing about traditional British films that Shaun of the Dead just didn't get away from. It still plays up to that typical British humour. Having a cup of tea, that's how we deal with it. Sit down, go into the shop, having a pack of crisps, Mars bar, cornetto. It was all just a little bit too British, going out of the way to be too British. I feel like they could have made the film a little bit more naturally. And by that I mean just a real person. It doesn't have to be about Londoners, so you don't have to make it all about the English experience of it, although I know that's kind of the angle they were going for, but just normalise it a little bit, so the jokes can still be had from normalcy as well. It doesn't just have to be about this whole British thing of tea and working at Dixon's and all of that stuff. Anyway, I did enjoy it, I did like it. Nick Frost starts annoying me quite a bit in the film though, because he's such a slob and he's a fat slob. I mean, a bit like Ricky Gervais. I know he's funny, but it's a little bit too annoying. when he bases a lot of his comedy on his oafishness, really, and he does a little bit too much of that in here, in this film for me. I'm not going to go into much more detail on it because it's probably been reviewed to death, and a lot of you will know about it. I like the film, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I don't think it was fantastic. I don't think it's hilarious. I think a lot of jokes do fall flat for me. I like the little inside jokes. I think it's got heart to it. It's quite funny in places. Overall, it don't really do it for me. 6 out of 10. On that one. I'm not going to do recommendations for this films because we're going straight through all Pegg and Frost films, so I'll leave it at that for that one. Second of all, following up from Shaun of the Dead, in the box set as we saw, we have got Hot Fuzz. Now Hot Fuzz, I saw the adverts for and saw it talked about a lot before I'd even seen Shaun of the Dead. When Shaun of the Dead came out, I never actually followed it. Never went to the cinema to see it. I didn't catch it for years or years later. And I saw this advertised and I thought, oh, this looks like it's going to be more shit. From the same canon of Shaun of the Dead, same thing, just in the police force. It's not. It's really not. I actually really enjoyed Hot Fuzz. Out of all the films I'm going to talk about, this is my absolute favourite. I'm going to rate it up front and give it an 8 out of 10. For those of you who don't know the plot of it, Simon Pegg plays a London police officer who's hardcore. He's on the ball. He does everything by the book. He's out there to catch criminals, and he's relocated by his 3 seniors in the Met's office, who are played brilliantly in cameos by fucking hell, going blank, Bill Nighy, Steve Coogan, and Martin Thingy from The Office, and other such things that I've forgotten. You know who I mean, the guy from The Office, the one who loved Dawn. I've forgotten his name. Tim, maybe. Anyway, he's relocated to this village, and he just thinks this is boring, this is shit, nothing happens here at all, and it all goes a little bit Midsummer Murders, and then it ramps it up a bit, and it just gets so ridiculous and ludicrous. But it's really played as quite a nice whodunit type thing as well, because it's not just about the comedy, it is a bit of a whodunit, and it's quite an intricately and well thought out plot, and a very funny payoff towards the end. Now, what I will say about it, this is quaint in its Britishness. This is meant to be very, very British, I think. The way that it's set in this sort of Midsummer Murders in a village setting, so of course it's going to be very quaintly British. This is my gripe with Shaun of the Dead. It's based in London, so why do we have to have it overtly British? We know that London is not that way anymore. It's becoming, well, it is multicultural, but I'm not talking about multiculturalism. I'm talking about the influence of America and how it is nowadays anyway. None of that was seen in Shaun of the Dead. And in this, rightly so. Well, actually, in this, the influence of America is almost Simon Pegg's character, because he plays this typical hard-boiled cop, as you would get in American movies, going into this quaint village setting. A lot of laughs to be had. Nick Frost, much less annoying in this for me. Really good whodunit, really good storyline. Timothy Dalton plays a great character in this. It's got a brilliant payoff. However, what I will say is that, it's a 2-hour film, and it kicks into about an hour and a half before it gets to the action, and the action went on far too long for me. We get the joke. When the action starts, you get the joke. He's finally going on the rampage. But then he proceeds to go on the rampage for about 25 minutes. It feels like it could have ended about 10-15 minutes beforehand. But it's passable, and it was good to see it as a different slice of life, and to see what his character had been forced to return to, and what he does for Nick Frost's character. Very good film, 8 out of 10. Recommend it. That's my highest rated out of all of these films. I really did enjoy it. I'm afraid it goes a bit downhill from here. Now I don't want to be accused of slamming them, because I think they are very talented and very funny. But I'm just going to be a bit harsh on them, because I feel like they could do better. I haven't seen much of Space, but from what I understand, my girlfriend watches Space, and she says it's hilarious. So I get the idea that they are going to be that they are very funny guys, and it obviously proof is in the pudding with the films, but it's just not. It's not as funny as it could be. It really isn't. They could go better. And a perfect example of them needing to go better and really letting themselves down in a big way is this film for me. Now, Paul, for those of you who can't see from the glare, I know that a lot of you will probably criticise me for this one, but hear me out. this is Simon Pegg and Nick Frost do America, basically. Try and break America. Take their oddball couple over to the States. Their oddball couple are nerds, Comic Con nerds. I watched it quite recently after having been there with Chris Blue 007, obviously, so I saw a lot of things that we would identify with in their portrayal of the two characters, which is very good. However, they then go on this UFO sighting landmark trip across America, and naturally encounter an alien played by the very annoying Seth Rogen. Yeah, it's very American. It's British comedy made for America in too many ways. You've got the British comedy from those two guys, and then you've got the American comedy from Rogen and much of the rest of the supporting cast. I mean, it was okay. It was all right. I was watching it to know what would happen next. I wanted to see where they'd get to and how the whole voyage would plan out. Basically, they've got to escort this alien across America and return him home. And along the way, they change a few lives, and it was just a bit shit, a bit by the numbers. However, there is a very good twist towards the end, which I won't spoil for those of you who haven't seen it. But it's something regarding the government and the person who's in pursuit of Paul, the alien. Very interesting angle that was, and also a very nice cameo from the big man up above who reveals themselves towards the end of the film. Like that cameo a lot. However, the film itself just not very good. Very forgettable, to be honest with you. I didn't really think it was very funny. The funny moments were just a bit shit. The girl moments were just a bit shit. The loutish friend things were just a bit shit. Overall, it fell flat for me. Didn't have as much heart. Wasn't as funny. Wasn't as on point. And wasn't a very good parody of sci-fi films at all. I thought it was. Do you know what it's like? It's like Men in Black. Kind of, it's pretty much like Men in Black. Talking aliens, being a bit rude and crude, people a little bit out of their element dealing with it, and some major thing going on. Not very original, didn't enjoy it at all, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. I would probably never watch this thing again, either, but hey, it was good, it was a good test. So that was Paul. Again, I don't mean to be harsh on these guys, but that was poor, Now next, I should be clear, that ends the Simon Pegg, Nick Frost partnership that I'm going through here on film. Now we just moved to Nick Frost in a very small supporting role in this film, which I'd avoided for a while because I just thought not my kind of thing. But then I thought, you know what, I'm going through this whole thing of comedies and parodies of British genre films, and Nick Frost is in this, so why not check out Attack the Block on Blu-ray. Attack the Block, for those of you who don't know, is about a group of hoodies on an estate in London, presumably, who must protect their block after aliens invade. Doesn't sound like, well, it sounds like an alright premise, but it sounds like one that's going to be a little bit about hoodies being a bit rude and lippy, but then reforming their ways and sort of saving the day. That's exactly what it is, and that's exactly how shit it is as well. You're basically presented, and I'll really take, I really don't like this film. This is 1 out of 10. This is the lowest rated film I've given on this fucking thing. This is 1 out of 10 for me. There are no laughs in it, despite the fact that it's meant to be a comedy, and it's from the producers of Shaun of the Dead as well, if you can believe it. It's downright offensive. It plays into the hands of fucking young ruffian kids. Like, it's almost like an excuse for them to say, oh, we're picked on, we're hard done by. No, you're not. No, you're not. Not when, in the beginning of this movie, the group of kids involved mug a woman, steal her jewellery at knife point as well, I believe, and then by the end, she's sort of attached to them because they're the only ones who can save her, and she feels, oh, my hero. They never really apologise, and yet at the end, the guys who saved the block, because they obviously saved the block, so I'll tell you that, they saved the block. Fuck it if I sport it. It's not worth seeing. At the end of the day, everyone's cheering for this one kid, the kid that we saw holding this girl up at the beginning with the knife and the rings and all that stuff. And it's like, and the thing is, it's not even like, when we see a bit of background of his character, he's not living that hard of a life. He's got an alright home life, to be honest with you. The film overall was shit. The aliens are shit. All of the kids are annoying as fuck. They play off every fucking parody of the way that kids and chavs and hoodies speak these days. It's embarrassing. Nick Frost should be embarrassed to be a part of it. I didn't laugh once in this whole film. It's pretty appalling. This is for teenagers. I truly believe this film is for teenagers to enjoy only. I don't believe a grown man can enjoy it. If you have, please message me. I'd love to hear from you. But I do not think that person exists. If you exist, send me a little message and I'll put your mind right for you, because this is quite poor. Okay, I'm not even going to waste time talking about that. I also one last thing. I think it was directed by Adam from Adam and Joe, who some of you might know. Maybe. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was a crap film. And last film, this completes the British circuit of films I'm talking about tonight. This also departs from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. So just to conclude that, the films are all passable, apart from Hot Fuzz, which I really enjoyed. But Shaun of the Dead, Paul and Attack the Block are kind of poor for me. Shaun of the Dead was alright, but it just wasn't up there. So let's leave that behind, but stick with the British theme and go out with a hard hitter, one that I've only just watched but I've had for a couple of years. And in light of Dark Knight Rises and the celebrity that Tom Hardy's starting to garner with it, I thought let's go back and see what he did with Nicholas Winding Refn, the director of Drive, the director of Valhalla Rising, two great films which I really loved. He directed this film a few years ago called Bronson, about Charlie Bronson, a renowned British prisoner. That is Tom Hardy as Charles Bronson. Many years ago, really buffed up, playing the man Charles Bronson, the man who went to jail for pretty much all of his life after robbing a post office for £21. Now, Tom Hardy portrays his character brilliantly. Erratic, eccentric, violent, funny, human, deranged, every emotion you can imagine he portrays. And it's done so in a very Nicholas Winding Refn way of doing very surreal shots of stuff. So you've got a lot of shots of Hardy with makeup on his face. He performs before a crowd as he tells this film story, and we cut back to scenes from his life. It's very hard hitting. It's very gritty and brutal in many ways, but it's an absolute brilliant portrayal of this man and of the madness that he encompasses, but also his deep humanity and what happened to him while in captivity, how he changed and became worse inside the prison system. He didn't reform, he didn't become better. So it's a pretty much a damning indictment of the prison system in this country. Can't say too much more about it, but it is fantastic, and I really advise you to check it out if you haven't checked it out. It's worth seeing, and see him when he was bulky before Bane and see what he did with it. Yeah, really liked it. I'm going to give that one a 7 out of 10. Really did enjoy it. Guys, thank you for sticking with me. That was hard to do because I haven't done one in a while, so and my head's still a little bit all over the place. But I'll be back on form for my next one. Hopefully all that made sense to you. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully it wasn't too harsh on the films. I'm back. Thank you for watching, for sticking with me. I will see all of you guys online and around. Big shout out to all of my good friends on YouTube, and we'll get back to doing what we do best. See you in the next video. Thank you.